Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. This time is of the Hasbro Lightning Wave Red Beast Morphers Power Ranger. I know him as the Red Buster, so again, I will probably be saying Red Buster throughout this, but I do know that he is a Beast Morphing Red Ranger. So I'm going to try to be considerate of that, even though I know him from where I know him from. Now, with that being said, these are great figures. I know I've said it before and I'll say it again, but Hasbro, and whoever's doing this at Hasbro, is putting in a lot of love on these figures. But we're going to jump into the review. Yeah, this is actually pretty nice. Now, just like with Beat Buster, aka the Beast Morphers Gold Ranger, they made these soft plastic, and it's really nice because it does not hinder the articulation going forward or backwards on the figure. Some people might think this is ugly or the way it looks. I don't mind this at all. If you have a problem, what I highly suggest you do is you glue it here at the undertone, so that way it stays in place while still being able to move at the top, for those of you who may have an aesthetic issue with it. Now, articulation wise, his head can go down, it can turn left and right. It cannot shift very far up because the back of the helmet here is going to hit the back of the collar and you're going to have a problem. If you lift it up a little to the point where it's just sitting on top of the ball joint, you get a little bit more of extra range, but as you can see, your neck here sits too high. So just keep that in mind. The arms have a butterfly joint, which allows it to rotate in and then backwards. Looks really great, actually. The arms can go up, they rotate on the bicep swivel, and they are double jointed. As you can see here, he is even able to make really cute cat faces, right? Now, the morpher here, well, I'm not sure if this is their morpher in the US one. So, and I know in Go Busters, this is their morpher. And it sits because it's a wrist changer. It's actually really nice, well placed, and it's actually decently painted, which is pretty nice. Also, we have the upper torso articulation. That actually is really nice because it swivels on top very, very nicely. And then there's also a lower ab crunch here on the figure, which allows you to have a much better range, as you can see, when tucking forward or going backwards, or even just expressively throwing a punch. Things like that. It helps you just to go the extra mile. I like the look on these a lot because even in Go Busters and now in Beast Morphers, I like the leather costumes. It translates very well for this type of team. They were Spec Ops in Japan, and I'm assuming they are technology based here for the US side. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Now, leg wise, it can go up, it can go outward. He can hold the pose pretty much well. Let's see. This is a terrible kick, but I'm showing it on purpose just to see if it can balance. Technically, he can. Let's get that boot cut going. Yeah, it can balance. But now, if I'm going to do a real kick, as you can see here, all you have to do kicking wise is really good. Now, legs are double jointed. There is a boot cut. There is excellent ankle articulation. All of these add to the fact that when you pose this guy up, he will look pretty good. Now, the Red Buster is based on speed, so he's a fast guy. So you might want to take stances like if he was sliding back from running too fast, or a Spec Op stance, because he's technically, they do the spy stuff and think, well, supposed to. I don't know how they're going to do it in the US, but I'll have to wait to see that. But it looks absolutely great posed up. It looks really nice. Real quick, though, we're going to jump into his accessories. One thing I did do is I looked into the research of the character because I don't want to get their names wrong. But his real name is Devin Daniels, and the head sculpt is actually pretty well done. I think my only gripe with the head sculpt is that it looks a little too pasty and plasticky under light, and I feel like they could have done a better job. Definitely going to tone down that semi-gloss on him. Definitely matted up. Give it a little bit of purple to give his face some actual real color instead of this pasty color. But overall the sculpt is done really well, so I don't have a problem with that. Devin's head sculpt sits actually pretty well on his head, that it works well with the body. Unlike the Go Ranger, who I thought his head set a little too high, Devin's actually works for me. I think it fits really well on his body. I like that a lot. Like I said, I just don't like the color. So swap that off. Let's put this back on. I like how they don't give him helmet hair. I do appreciate that. It kind of just morphs on and keeps his hair in a very well state. Now, he does come with weapons and accessories. He does get the, I looked into this. This is called the Cheetah Blast Blaster, from right. This is, in the Japanese version, this is Nick Cheetah's, one of the weapons he carries that you get, carries it, specialized weapon. But, oh, no, actually, this one I think is a US-based one. But the point is, it is a very nice weapon. It needs to just be painted up. It's missing some slight paint apps. The only thing they give you is one little line with a fake cheetah eye painted on. It's not enough. Then they give you the Spec Ops sword, which I think this one is actually painted decently well. When you compare it to the Go Busters version, it's actually not half bad painted. It's not terrible either. You get one hand, trigger-wise, and that's the right hand for the Cheetah Blaster, or the sword to put either one in. So he's technically going to be right-handed. And then you get one open palm left hand. This is going to be your action hand, which you use the character for. And if you have the sword, which obviously you do because you bought this, you can have a, I guess, a data effect. Problem is I haven't watched the show yet, so I'm going to not know the terms. But you have a slashing data effect, and I'm assuming for when you slash their bad guys, they're slash foot of code. If you're curious, if you put the Japanese version on, it does fit as well. Doesn't sit as high, but it does work. Now, we're going to jump into size comparisons. One thing, and the first thing I want to do, is compare him to his Japanese counterpart, which was made years ago. Now, I obviously like the proportions on this guy better. I think the only thing I like better on a Japanese one at this point is the simple fact that his visor is a metallic red, and I would gladly change his also to metallic red when you get these guys close up. I like the red on him better too. It's a little bit more seamless, but it's not something that's really going to bother me. I really like how, comparison-wise, technically you can put these guys together, and because of him, Beatbuster, aka the Beast Morpher Gold, he kind of sit well with either one of them, and that's really nice. So if you want to finish your team for Japan, I'm guessing you wait for Stagbuster and you finish your team, or you can continue to collect these guys as well. Either way, I think both are very nice to have. Just in case you want to see what Yellow looks like. She is much significantly smaller than him, but in Japan she was going to be. Then we have him next to a Putty, just in case you want to get your Legacy War stuff on, right? Putty's actually pretty big. Here he is next to an SHF Kamen Rider. These guys actually do scale decently well next to each other. So if you move them up at the same size, there we go. Yeah, not too much bigger, but enough that it works well in action shots. Here he is next to a Mezco Netflix Punisher. He's a little bit smaller for most Mezcos, more lean, more human proportioned. So there you go. Here he is next to a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. This is also one of Hasbro's. So as you can see, Hasbro to Hasbro, what they look like. Next up, we have a DC Essentials Brainiac. And then a Storm Collectibles Marcus Phoenix. As you can see, those two are gigantic and jacked, so it doesn't even matter. And just in case you want to use these guys as bad guys, for those of you who army built it, here he is next to an 1000 toy synthetic human, because these look more data mongers than anything else. So there you go. Only thing I don't have with me is the AI Ninja. I have them right now in storage. So yeah. But if you know what the 1000 toys look like, you know what the ninjas look like. In the meantime, though, I gotta honestly say this line is doing really well. You get the bang for your buck. You get a pretty nice amount of accessories. You get unmasked heads. I think they're going very much in the great direction very quickly, and I hope they keep this up, and I hope they don't cut back. So I'm really hoping, since you jumped out the gate great, keep doing it, and you'll do fine with this line. In the meantime, guys, hope you found it informative. I hope you enjoyed. Most of all, hope you do good, be good, drink your water. Later.